Julius Malema has disappointed the NDC and John Mahama as a whole. Hi, lovely people of Ghana. It's your Nigerian Get Pleasure, bringing you political news in our channel automatically. John Malema has sent an open letter to the past president of Ghana, John Mahama. And this one, he has said so many things that he really needs to know and come out to tell them that the old must allow the young people to rule. And whoever that has served before should just rest and sit down and not attack the new president. Please, Rich.
Because you are a former president, will still pay you pensions and give you protection and take care of you as long as you respect those who came after you. You have to ensure that democracy matures in such a manner in Africa, where the previous president does not make it his business to fight the current president. You must allow the new to lead with all their faults because you are the same. It doesn't mean you are perfect. The young ones who are coming after you will challenge the current one. No African leader who is on retirement should lead from the grave. They must all be like all other progressive former presidents who are statesmen at home, waiting for courtesy visits and consultation and attending to honor state functions. Those are the duties of former presidents, because Africa must be stable. Africa must go through democracy at all times. And elections in Africa should never mean the blood on the floor. We Africans must hate seeing our own blood. We must always protect each other.
In as much as he did not call anyone's name, yes, he didn't call any vice president's name, but NDC had just carried this on their head, and they just carried it, saying so many things about this particular statement, knowing fully well that yes, John Mahama was the vice president, the last president, and only him has been criticizing, saying so many things about this present president. I think that's why they really took it on their head. And since John Mahama is the only one always criticizing the current president and the one that wants to come back, that's why NDC is feeling so much attacked. But I don't really see anything in it.
Because you are a former president, will still pay you pensions and give you protection and take care of you as long as you respect those who came after you. You have to ensure that democracy matures in such a manner in Africa, where the previous president does not make it his business to fight the current president. You must allow the new to lead with all their faults because you are the same. It doesn't mean you are perfect. The young ones who are coming after you will challenge the current one. No African leader who is on retirement should lead from the grave. They must all be like all other progressive former presidents who are statesmen.
Please, do you think that NDC really have right to be challenging the talk of this great man? Yes, Julius Malema is someone we know that speaks the fact, and according to him, he has said what he feels like he wants to say, and I don't know why they are feeling attacked and they just want to carry this on their head. Please watch.
And the national youth organizations that are here, and all those dignitaries that made this possible, want to take this opportunity to salute you and appreciate the effort you have taken in making sure that we dialogue amongst ourselves as Africans without supervision, that we require nobody to come and be a supervisor for us to meet, that we can call each other on our own and have a conversation, and where we don't find one another, we agree to disagree, go different directions, to meet again tomorrow, because we believe in the power of persuasion. This morning I had an opportunity to meet President Mahama and President Kofo, and we also visited a very important leader of our revolution, because we believe in both the living and the dead. So when you visit former presidents that are alive, you have a duty to also visit those that were revolutionary and they've passed on, like President Kwame Nkrumah. So we are here today to really salute the good work he has done. Maybe some historical background is also important before we get into issues, because we believe that we did not start the revolution. We inherited the revolution, and therefore it's important to always remind ourselves of where we come from. Prior to European arrival, Ghana was home to powerful empires like the mighty Ashanti, renowned for their gold trade and military prowess. These societies had complex social structures, sophisticated cultural traditions, and well-developed trade networks. An early victim of European interests, the European presence in Ghana began with the Portuguese explorers who arrived in the 15th century, and from then till the 19th century, Ghana, then known as the Gold Coast, became a major source of enslaved people for the transatlantic trade. European powers established ports and trading ports along the coast, exchanging manufactured goods for enslaved Africans captured primarily from the interior regions. The forced removal of millions of people had a profound demographic and social impact on Ghana. It weakened communities, fueled interstate conflict, and led to cultural loss. The transatlantic slave trade left a deep and enduring mark on Ghana's collective memory. While acknowledging the trauma inflicted, it's important to recognize the resilience and resistance displayed by many communities and individuals during this period. However, it was the Dutch, British, and later the French who played more significant roles in the colonization of the
Julius Malema is one person that, yes, Africa as a whole respect, because he is just seen as one of the people that speaks the facts and understand history very well. And that has made people really understand, fear, and acknowledge him.
Gold Coast, what is now called Ghana. The British gradually expanded their influence and control through trade and establishments of ports along the coastline. By the mid-19th century, the Gold Coast became a British colony. The scramble for Africa saw Britain and other European countries aggressively carving up the continent. The Gold Coast fell under British control, marking the start of formal colonial rule as a result of the Berlin Conference self-determination. Ideas of Pan-Africanism, emphasizing continental unity and liberation from colonialism, fueled the independent movements all over the continent. Intellectuals like Kwame Nkrumah emerged as powerful voices advocating for self-determination. The CPP, founded in 1949 by Kwame Nkrumah, mobilized mass protests and strikes, forcing the British to acknowledge the desire of democratic dispensation. We must never ever celebrate anyone who is corrupt or seek to defend the corrupt individuals, irrespective of our political affiliation. Those who are stealing from the public purse now, they are stealing from the future. That's why they are unable to pay the debt now, and they will not be able to pay the debt in future. And it is you, the youth of Africa, that are going to inherit the debt, and you will not be able to develop your own country.
Now I'm beginning to see why NDC are feeling so much attack. Being so that so many news have come out that Mahama holds and we're not able to pay so many debts he was owing, even after having the resources.
Countries. There is a tendency in the African continent of the youth defending the old corrupt because they give them the little money now and they forget the future. If you value yourself, if you value the future of this continent, you must stand tall and unashamedly fight corruption everywhere where it raises its ugly head. Don't care who says what. You must always speak truth to power. It doesn't matter who gets offended. The truth remains the truth, whether you are standing, whether you are sitting, whether you are sleeping, the truth will never change. And one thing you must know is that when you tell the truth to the powers that be, they may pretend now that they do not hear what you are saying. But when they are sleeping alone, their conscience speaks to them and they must answer the question, is he or she telling the truth? And if the answer is yes, you have achieved your mission. They will never know they are corrupt until someone tells them on their faces that you are for yourself, you are for your family, you are for friends, you are for the politically connected, and you are not for our continent, because our continent is about the unity of African people that is based on economic ownership of the means of production. I want to say this today here, that xenophobic people are people who suffer from self-hate. Because when you love yourself, you will never hate another person. A black person who looks like you should serve as a mirror to you. When you look at that black person, you must see yourself. And therefore, you cannot say the people from Ivory Coast are not needed here in Ghana. They are taking our jobs and our opportunities, because there is no Ivory Coast, there is no Ghana. There is no Nigeria, there is no South Africa. There is no Liberia, there is no Botswana. There is Africa. Because we never determined these artificial borders. Some people went to sit somewhere and decided to divide us. And they did that with a pen and took away our brains, because there is no wall. In other places, there is no fence, yet we see the wall.
Please do well to like, comment, follow. Put on your notification bell so you get all our updates one by one. Thanks, my people.